And we are back with some more Jay Niles Road to the Show. As you can see, Jay is getting called into his manager's office because he's been traded to the Minnesota Twins. And Jay Niles is going to be with their AA team, the Chattanooga Lookouts, who I thought were still the Reds AA affiliate, but I guess not. So here, bottom half of the first of his first Lookout start. First batter he faces, not a good start for him, as it runs inside and plunks the batter. And then with one out, that same batter would go and steal second base, as the throw is way too late. And all of a sudden, Niles has to deal with a runner in scoring position with one out. But then that same batter still up, 2-2 count. He goes down looking on the down and away changeup. Can't get the bat off his shoulder. And then it's 2 outs, 0-2 count with the same runner on second. And this guy is going to go and pop one up opposite way into foul territory, where our left fielder will range over and snag that one in foul territory. So nobody comes across, nobody gets a hit. And in the bottom half of the second now, it's 1 out, 1-2 count. Niles got that changeup working yet again. Way out in front of that one was the batter. Gets him to go down swinging. Still bottom half of the second. 2 outs now, 1-2 count. Gets the sweeping curve back door. Guy can't swing on it, or can't pull the trigger on it. He just locked them up. So 2 strikeouts in that inning. Now moving on to the bottom half of the third. 2 outs, runner on second. And Niles induces a ground ball to third. Third base makes a nice running play to fire over to first in time. A bit of a high throw, but it's good enough. So move on to the fourth inning now. Nobody on, 1 out, 1-2 count as Niles blows the fastball right by this guy. He goes down swinging. And now we move on to the bottom half of the fifth. So 2-2 count on the leadoff hitter in the top of the bottom of the fifth. He goes down on the changeup. Can't get wood on it as he is way in front of it and just completely misses it. So 3-2 count now in the bottom half of the sixth, as Niles would walk the leadoff batter in that inning. Not a good start to the inning. The same guy he hit to start the game, and the manager would come out and say, that's it for you, Niles. And his first start as a Chattanooga Lookout is over. His numbers for the day were 5 innings pitched, 2 hits, 8 strikeouts, and no earned runs given up, but the bullpen blew it, so he gets a no decision, and they could not get any run support. So now we move on to our second game of the episode, which is the All-Star Game here at Great American Ballpark, where Niles, bottom half of the first inning, ball hit down the first baseline, and this guy has got some speed. Niles wasn't even that late getting to it, and he just gets an infield single. And all of a sudden, this guy is going to go take off for second base, and he's in second now, scoring position with nobody out. Now 1 out, 1-2 count, as this guy is going to hit one over to the second baseman, fire over to first, and he beats it out. So now it's 1 out, runners on the corners for Niles to deal with. 0-1 count to the next batter, and he's going to hit one down the right field line. It's going to get all the way up against the wall, as 1 run's going to come in. The second runner is going to hold up at third base, and all of a sudden it's second and third for Niles to deal with. Move on to the inning. It's now bases loaded, 3-2 count, and Niles induces a ground ball, so it gets out of the inning, only allowing 1 run, but still a shaky start to the All-Star Game for Niles. Then in the bottom half of the second, he would allow a base runner, but he would not really get in any trouble, as he would only get to first base, and then he induces a really short pop fly to the edge of the outfield, the infield dirt. And that would be all he would pitch in the All-Star Game. He started the All-Star Game, and he only goes 2 innings, gives up 4 hits, 1 run, and 3 strikeouts, but he does get the loss. But it's only an All-Star Game, so it does not count to his stats. So now we move on to his second start as a Chattanooga Lookout. You can see his numbers on the screen. And we are facing the Pensacola Blue Wahoos as it's a 2-2 count, runner on third, and Niles gets him to go down swinging on the big breaking curveball. So then all of a sudden it's a runner on third with 2 outs. Niles can get a bit of pressure off him, and then he gets this guy to pop up into shallow center field. That's easy peasy can of corn for the center fielder. And Niles gets out of the jam. Nobody comes across the plate. Move on to the top half of the second now. Runner on second, 2 outs. Once again, Niles gets a guy to go down swinging on looking on the big sweeping curve. Cannot get the bat off his shoulder. Move on to the top half of the third. Runner on first, 2 outs. Gets a guy to line out to right field, but it's going to fall right into the right fielder's glove. So still nobody comes across for Pensacola, and he's got 1 run to work with that Chattanooga put on the board for him. And then here, he induces a 4 It was just 2 outs, so he needed to do this a 4-6-3 double play. It was just 1 out that they needed to get, so they toss over to second, get that one. Move on to the top half of the 5th, and a strikes this guy out. Getting to go down looking. Lots of people just can't get the bats off their shoulder against Jay Niles this episode. And now onto the top half of the 6th. 2 outs, nobody on. It's a 2-0 lead now for Chattanooga. And yet another guy goes down, this time on the changeup. Way out in front, just completely misses it. He's completely fooled. He strikes out. So top half of the 7th now, as Niles is just mowing through these batters. He gets a guy, but this guy is going to bloop it in front, or like softly line it in front of the right fielder. And he allowed a single, Niles. That's your day. You're out of there. He takes him out, so Niles in his second game as a lookout goes 6 2/3. He gives up 6 hits, 13 strikeouts, 0 earned runs, and he gets the win as Chattanooga goes up 5-1. Now we move on to an away game against the Mississippi Braves here in the bottom half of the 1st. As I don't know what it is with Niles, but whenever he gives up a hit, it seems like it's always the first batter of the game. As this guy is going to rip one into the gap, and he's going to go all the way to third base. Leadoff triple for the Mississippi Braves, and all of a sudden Niles has got himself a jam. 3-1 count to this guy, ground ball to shortstop, only plays over to first, so the runner does come in, but Niles doesn't have anybody on base anymore to worry about. So later on in the 1st, it's 2 outs, nobody on, 0-2 count, and he gets the guy to go down swinging on the big breaking curveball. So only one comes across in that 1st inning. Now we move on to the bottom half of the 2nd. Nobody on, nobody out, 2-2 count to this batter. He's going to go down on the changeup, way out in front of that one. Just doing a nice job of changing speeds all throughout the day. And as you see, he gets his 100th strikeout on the season, his 100th strikeout of his career, because it is his 1st season. So now, later on in the bottom half of the 2nd, strikes out the number 2 batter of the inning. So that's back-to-back strikeouts in the 2nd. And now, 3rd batter of the inning comes up. 2-2 count on him. He's also going to have a fastball blown right past him as he strikes out the side. Jay Niles just cruising through this Braves lineup after giving that leadoff triple. And now, bottom half of the 3rd. That is 4 straight strikeouts. Or not 4 straight. Never mind. That was not 4 straight. And that was just one in the 3rd inning to end it. And now we move on to the bottom half of the 4th, where he'll start off the 4th with a strikeout. So we have 2 straight strikeouts now as he is just mowing through these guys. As we move on to later on in the bottom half of the 5th, runner on first, 2 outs, another strikeout for Jay Niles, that time on the big curveball. And now we move on later into the game, bottom half of the 6th, 5-1 Chattanooga lead. And Jay Niles' pitch gets away from him, runs way up inside, hits the batter, not happy about that. He's going to take his base, though. Niles still in the game. 0-1 count to the next batter. He is going to rip one down the right field line. It's going to go all the way up against the wall, and this guy has himself an easy stand-up double, and the runner is going to score. RBI double for the Mississippi Braves. It's now a 5-2 game. Still a decent lead for Chattanooga, but that's going to end Jay Niles' day as he's starting to get flustered there. In his 3rd start as a Chattanooga lookout, he goes 5 innings, only gives up 3 hits, strikes out 8, only 2 runs, and he gets the win. So, Jay Niles, now a member of the Chattanooga Lookouts. His season stats are a 6-2 record with a 1.51 ERA, 106 strikeouts in 77.2 innings pitched, and he is the best starter in AA in the Twins organization. So, hopefully it's not too long till he gets called up to AAA. And with that being said, that's going to wrap things up here for this edition of the Jay Niles Road to the Show. I've been your host, Jersey Born, and I'm just saying goodbye.
I throw a toast up for that green grass. I don't mean hash, but I mean cash. Talking about the other side where they breeze past. That German import with the easy pass. No tolls, fuck change, throw it away. All gold, silver's just second place. You living your life at a record pace. Always trying to eat dinner off a bigger plate.